Wait, what?
Do you know about the SpongeBob theory?
Do I want to hear this?
Yes, so we all know and love SpongeBob, but what if I told you the show is not what you think it is?
Oh, here we go. You're going to ruin SpongeBob for everybody.
Maybe. So there's a theory that SpongeBob is just a nature documentary filmed by humans to show abnormally intelligent sea creatures that live a life similar to humans.
Wait, how do you even know that?
So in an old SpongeBob DVD, there's a bonus feature that shows how human scientists studied and filmed the creatures of Bikini Bottom because the fish were exactly like humans. And there's an episode where SpongeBob is taking his driver's test and he runs over the narrator, and we can clearly see the narrator is human because he's dressed like a scuba diver.
Oh, yeah, and then he drops the camera.
Exactly, and you know how we always see that human hand come onto screen?
Yeah.
And have you ever noticed that it only comes out to help SpongeBob? Like before every episode, he puts on his clothes because he knows SpongeBob is the main character of the documentary and he has to protect him.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird how it was a human hand.
Yeah, there's even an episode that ends with the family watching the documentary and turning off the TV, proving that SpongeBob is a documentary showing humans how they live.
I'll never view SpongeBob the same now. What if I told you that Scar from Lion King wasn't killed in Lion King, but was actually killed by someone else?
Wait, I thought the hyenas ate him.
No, so we all know at the end of Lion King, we think that Scar dies. But you know, in ancient Greek mythology, whenever a soldier would kill an animal, he would then skin the animal and wear it as like a trophy.
Right.
So this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that Hercules actually killed Scar.
Hercules?
So in Hercules, we see him posing while someone's trying to paint a picture of him, and he's wearing a dead animal. And that animal is actually Scar. After Lion King, Scar must have survived the hyena attack, and then Hercules must have killed him and skinned him. This theory was confirmed by Andre Astasia, the lead animator at Disney at the time, who worked on Hercules and Lion King, and he confirmed that Scar is actually in Hercules.
Dude, that makes both movies so much better because we know Scar got what he deserved. What if I told you there's a huge volcano that nobody talks about that can erupt at any moment and destroy the US?
Great, so now we have this right after we got through 2020.
Yeah, so Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming is one of the top vacation sites for families around the US, but the entire park is sitting right on top of a super volcano that's ready to erupt.
Yeah, well, I'm never gonna go there now.
Yeah, it was said that this volcano erupts every 600,000 years, but hasn't erupted in over 640,000 years, so we're 40,000 years overdue.
So what you're telling me, at any moment, this thing could erupt and wipe us all out?
Exactly. So in Shane Dawson's video, scientists have said the volcano has taken a deep breath, which has caused the ground to rise because of all the pressure from the volcano.
So it's literally like a balloon being blown up and there's too much air and it's about to pop.
Yeah, and it is said by scientists that the damage from the volcano could be catastrophic and kill everybody in the US, but not just from the lava, but because of the smoke could cover the sun.
Yeah, because we can't live without sunlight. Have you heard of the Simpsons theory?
Wait, is it the one where they predict things?
No, it's a different one. Don't you think it's kind of weird how they never age or grow up?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Hasn't the show been going on for like years?
Yeah, so the show's been going on for 31 years and it has 32 seasons, and the characters have never grown up.
Dude, that's a long time.
So this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that the Simpsons has not been going on for 32 years, but actually has only been going on 11 days in the Simpsons world.
How is that even possible?
Okay, get this. There's 703 episodes and they usually last about 22 minutes long. In total, there's 15,466 minutes, and that equals 11 days. So the reason why the Simpsons don't age is because for them, it feels like it's only been 11 days in their world.
Wait, I never even thought of it like that.
It's crazy, but it makes sense that it's only been 11 days for them.
Yeah, I guess multiple episodes could take place on the same day. Have you ever heard of the Office theory?
No.
What if I told you someone from the show is a criminal?
Wait, who?
So in The Office, there's a city criminal called the Scranton Strangler, and he's mentioned multiple times throughout the show.
Yeah, I remember him.
But we've always wondered who the Scranton Strangler is, but many have theorized that it's Toby Flenderson, but now there's more evidence to back it up.
Wait, you're telling me you actually have proof of this?
Yeah, so in the viewing party episode, we see the entire office at Toby's desk watching the car chase of the Scranton Strangler, but everybody's at Toby's desk except for Toby.
Dude, I always wondered why he wasn't there.
Exactly. And if you look at the car being chased on the news, the same exact car was seen in the parking lot of Dunder Mifflin in an earlier episode, showing that the Scranton Strangler works in the building.
Dude, it probably was Toby. He looks like a killer. And maybe that's why Michael Scott never liked him.
Exactly.
Have you heard of the Ice Age theory?
No.
What if I told you that Sid the Sloth is the ultimate hero of the whole movie?
How?
So remember when Manny's in the cave and he's showing how his family was killed by hunters? He was at a point in his life where he felt like he had no purpose and no friends and was really sad.
Dude, those hunters are messed up, man.
Okay, so at the beginning of the movie, we see Sid the Sloth, right? And he ruins the rhino's salad and he gets the last dandelion.
Ah, the last dandelion.
And then the rhinos are running after Sid. And then you see Manny at the edge of this super high cliff. Then Sid runs into him and he asks Manny for help.
Yeah, I remember that.
So this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that the reason why Manny's at the edge of a high cliff is because he's actually about to jump off. Because he feels sad and he feels like he doesn't have a purpose. Until Sid runs into him and he finally has a friend again and a purpose.
Wait, I guess it is kind of weird that Manny was just standing by the cliff alone, not caring about anything, like he was just gonna jump off.
Dude, I really think that Sid saved Manny's life.
Sid is underrated, man. What if I told you there's a place in the ocean where hundreds of people have gone missing?
Wait, where in the ocean?
So right off the coast of Florida, there's a specific area where so many people have gone missing.
I've been in the ocean in Florida.
Right? And it has been found that only 5% of our entire ocean has been discovered, and only 1% of the ocean floor has been discovered. So we have no idea what's in the ocean.
So what you're saying is, as far as we know, Aquaman could be under the ocean.
Exactly. And just a few weeks ago, the military set off a 40,000-pound bomb in the ocean for training, right where all these people have gone missing. And this place is called the Bermuda Triangle. The theory is that Atlantis, the underwater city, exists under the Bermuda Triangle.
Well, there's got to be something there or someone there that's taking everybody and making them disappear.
Exactly. And why would the military set off a 40,000-pound bomb in the ocean for training? And it just so happens to be in the place where 16 boats and 15 aircrafts have gone missing while traveling over it.
Yeah, that ain't no coincidence. Like, there's a reason why they did that.
Exactly. So what if the military is secretly trying to destroy Atlantis but doesn't want to tell us it exists?
Dude, who knows what's down there?
Do you know the Pixar Soul theory?
No.
So Soul was one of the best movies released in 2020, and it was a huge hit for Pixar. But at the end of the movie, we never know where 22 ends up. So it leaves the question of who does 22 become?
Wait, you know who she becomes?
Yeah, so in the Art of Soul book, we get to see what all the symbols mean that 22 has. And it says that 22 is a moody, extroverted cynic who is extremely punctual. Punctual meaning they're always early.
Yeah, it fits her description.
Right, so there's a theory that at the end of the movie, when 22 and Joe are going back to Earth, 22 becomes Colette from Ratatouille.
Wait, they actually act like the same exact person.
Right? So in Ratatouille, we always see Colette being super moody and impatient with Linguini. Just how 22 is with Joe in Soul.
Yeah, they both got some fire to them.
Right? Colette even threatens to kill Linguini at one point and almost cuts off his arm. Remember when Linguini falls asleep at the restaurant? Colette is the first person to show up out of everybody.
Yeah, she's very punctual.
So it only makes sense that 22 is Colette.
I guess it makes sense too how the souls can go to different timelines. It could be like in the past and in the future. So it doesn't have to be like the same timeline as Joe. Have you heard of the Shrek theory?
No, but I love Shrek.
So we all know Shrek is about an ogre named Shrek and his friend Donkey, who's a donkey. And all the fairy tale characters like Pinocchio, Three Little Bears, the Gingerbread Man, all those.
Yeah, it was one of the best movies ever.
So remember in Shrek 1 where Lord Farquaad puts out a poster saying fairy tale creature rewards? And he has his guards pay people who bring fairy tale creatures to him.
Dude, I hate Farquaad.
So this is where the theory comes in. Remember when there's three little bears in cages? The mama and papa bear in one cage, and then there's a baby bear, and the baby bear's like, oh no, the cage is too small.
Yeah.
And then that night when all the fairy tale creatures come to Shrek Swamp, you see the papa and baby bear are crying. There's a theory that Lord Farquaad actually killed the mama bear.
Wait, what do you mean?
So there's a scene in Lord Farquaad's room where you see on the ground, there's a rug, and that rug is the body of the mama bear. And you could see that on the top, there's a pink bow. It's the same exact bow the mama bear had.
Dude, that's not even a theory if her body's on the ground. What if I told you Timmy Turner is not who you think he is?
What are you trying to say? He's like an imposter?
So there's a theory that Timmy Turner wished that Cosmo and Wanda create him his dream life where he's a superhero and he saves the world and he brings all of his friends along for the ride. And that new life is the life of Danny Phantom.
Wait, what?
The creator of both shows, Butch Hartman, said it's very possible that Timmy Turner and Danny Phantom are the same exact person.
Dude, I love Butch Hartman.
So look at Timmy's friends. He has AJ, who is super smart, and he has Chester, that maybe not that smart.
Yeah, he's stupid.
But then look at Danny's guy friends. He has Tucker, who is very smart, and he has Dash, that isn't that smart. And both of them look like older versions of AJ and Chester.
They literally look like the same exact person.
Then look at Timmy's girlfriends. He has Tootie, who has floating ponytails and always wears a plaid skirt. And then Trixie has dark black hair and always wears a pink top. Then you look at Danny's girlfriends, and he has Sam, who has a floating ponytail and always wears a plaid skirt. And then you have Paulina, who has dark black hair and always wears a pink top. And in the shows, Timmy has a crush on Trixie and Danny has a crush on Paulina, showing that they might be the same person.
If Timmy is Danny, it makes sense if they like the same person. Have you heard of the Black Widow theory?
Wait, are there gonna be any spoilers?
It's a spoiler for everyone who hasn't seen Black Widow.
All right, let's hear it.
So in Black Widow, we see how Thunderbolt Ross is trying to hunt down Black Widow, but he looks really sick.
Yeah, in the movie, he didn't look too good.
And this is just like in the comics, how Thunderbolt Ross gets really sick and is about to die, so he takes a super soldier serum, the same serum that Captain America took, but it goes wrong and he ends up turning into the Red Hulk.
Wait, isn't the Red Hulk just Hulk but red?
Yeah, so there's a theory that there's a new superhero team that's being formed.
Wait, are you serious?
So at the end of Black Widow, we see that Yelena Belova is at Natasha's grave, and all of a sudden Valentina comes up and she's trying to recruit Yelena Belova, just like how she recruited John Walker, the US agent from Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So Valentina is trying to create her own Avengers team, and it's most likely that she's trying to create the Thunderbolts. So get this, the Thunderbolts team has Yelena Belova, Black Widow, Red Hulk, who is Thunderbolt Ross, Taskmaster, who we see becomes good at the end of Black Widow, Ghost, who we see in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Hawkeye, Clint Barton, Zemo from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, John Walker, the US agent from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2.
Dude, this team sounds crazy. You know that Disney might be ruining the lives of your favorite celebrities?
How?
So everybody knows Selena Gomez and Miley Cyrus, how they both work for Disney and everybody loved their music.
I do.
Right, but stars under Disney contract have said their lives were miserable and they're really restricted on what they can do in their daily life.
I've heard a lot of Disney Channel stars say that it was very traumatizing.
Yeah, so I read an article that Disney stars have to approve the clothes they wear every day and they can't have any bad words in their songs. And Disney made it very clear that if they broke these rules, their contract would be over because they don't want to lose their kid-friendly image.
I guess that makes sense.
Right, but there's a theory that Disney stars try to get fired on purpose so that Disney will end their contract, but the only way out is to break their rules.
Wait, what?
Okay, but a Radio Disney employee said that when Miley Cyrus released her song Can't Be Tamed, the very next day Disney canceled everything connected with Miley Cyrus and canceled her contract.
I remember when that song came out.
Right, so Disney stars break the rules and make inappropriate music on purpose so Disney will end their contract and they can go live on their own career.
So basically they're trying to get themselves fired. Have you heard of the iCarly theory?
No.
What if I told you that iCarly and Drake and Josh are in the same universe?
Wait, how would that even work?
So in Drake and Josh, there's a movie called Ik Glokma. And then in iCarly, there's the same movie, Ik Glokma. Also in Drake and Josh, there's a shoe company called Deka Shoes. And in the show, they're watching a Deka shoe commercial. And then in iCarly, Deka Shoes is trying to hire Carly to advertise their shoes. And you know how Miranda Cosgrove was in Drake and Josh and also in iCarly? Guess who else was in Drake and Josh and in iCarly?
Spencer.
Yes, so Spencer from iCarly also played Crazy Steve in Drake and Josh. There's a theory that Crazy Steve actually killed Drake and Josh's family, but kept Megan and Drake alive. So Crazy Steve brainwashes Drake and Megan because he wants Megan to become his sister, and he kept Drake alive because he knew that he was the dumb one. And what he does is he has Megan change her name to Carly Shay and moves her to Seattle, leaving Drake in San Diego.
That just got really dark.
And then in iCarly, Drake actually comes back and he goes, Megan, where's Josh? And where's mom and dad? Because he's starting to remember his past, but he can't remember where everybody went.
That just completely ruined my childhood. Okay, I may have found out who sunk the Titanic.
What?
Okay, remember I told you the Titanic never sank and it was actually the Olympic, and JP Morgan owned 3 boats, the Titanic, the Olympic, and the Britannic.
He sunk them for the insurance money, right?
Right, so there's a theory that all these boats sank because of one person.
JP Morgan?
No, get this. There's only one person that attended all 3 boats and survived all 3 wrecks, and they call her Miss Unsinkable.
You're telling me that this person was on all 3 boats when they had their wrecks and survived?
Exactly. Her name was Violet Jessop, and she worked as a nurse on all 3 boats and survived every single wreck.
That's suspicious.
Right? She survived the Titanic's iceberg, the Britannic's explosion, and the collision of the Olympic.
What the?
So many theorists have claimed that she was hired to cause all the accidents on every single boat.
Well, it makes sense if she's the only person to be on all 3 ships when they had their wrecks and then survived.
Exactly.
I have a crazy story. What if I told you a shark saved a guy's life?
Okay, it's either a really lucky guy or a really nice shark.
So I read this article written in 2015 by Sarah Kaplan. So Eugene Finney, a father of 2 kids, went on a trip to Huntington Beach in California. So they wanted to go to the beach to hang out. So Eugene was playing with his kids in the water when all of a sudden he got hit by something really hard. And he said he felt the worst pain he's ever felt in his whole life. He realized that he was just bitten by a great white shark.
What the heck?
So he didn't want to ruin the trip for his family. So he's like, I'm not going to go to the hospital. I'm fine. So then a few days later, he started to feel that pain again. So he's like, I'm going to drive myself to the hospital.
Eugene sounds like a legend. He got bit by a shark and he just wiped it off.
So the doctors had to do many tests and x-rays on Eugene. The tests found that Eugene had a form of a deadly cancer growing around his heart.
Oh my gosh.
Luckily, the doctors were able to treat it and remove the cancer out of his body. Eugene was very lucky that the doctors were able to remove the cancer, because if they waited any longer, he would have probably died because the cancer was growing so quick. If the shark never bit him, he would have never known he had cancer. The shark actually saved his life.
Dude, this guy's the luckiest guy to walk on the planet. What if I told you Monsters Inc. and Toy Story were connected?
Well, I guess you're connecting two of my favorite movies.
So remember in Monsters Inc. that one monster runs out of the room because he's super scared and he's crying?
Are you talking about the big blue one with the claws?
Yeah, so I saw this article, and if you pause the movie right before he slams the door, you could see a poster on the wall. And guess where else you see that poster?
Where do you see it?
So in Toy Story 1, in Sid's room, he has the same exact poster on the wall.
Wait, doesn't the monster say there's a girl in the room?
Right, but what if the monster got scared because he was expecting to see Sid in his room, but instead it was Sid's little sister, and that's why he got scared?
Gosh, I bet Sid's sister's evil just like Sid.
Right, but there's another theory that Randall used to scare Andy.
Wait, how do you know that?
So remember when we see Randall practicing camouflage on the different wallpapers, and we see him practice on a wallpaper with white clouds and a blue background? The only other place we see that wallpaper in any Pixar movie is in Andy's room.
Wait, remember at the end of Monsters Inc., Boo has a Jessie doll from Toy Story and she gives it to Sully?
Exactly. They're all connected, man.
I feel like this makes the movies more interesting to me. Have you heard of the Ratatouille theory?
No.
So we all know the movie Ratatouille is about a rat named Remy, and he's trying to help his friend Linguini keep a job at a restaurant. But Chef Skinner's always trying to get Linguini fired.
Bro, I hate Chef Skinner.
So you know at the end of the movie, we see that Chef Skinner finds out that Remy's been the cook the whole time.
Yeah.
So Skinner realizes that animals are a lot smarter than everybody thinks, and he wants to be able to learn how to communicate and understand what animals are saying, but no one else believes him. So this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that Skinner meets a guy who is super smart and believes Skinner, and he thinks that he can help Skinner be able to understand what animals are saying.
Wait, what?
So this guy is actually Charles Muntz from the movie Up. Skinner convinces Charles Muntz that animals are a lot smarter than everybody thinks. So Charles Muntz believes him and creates a device so that animals can talk.
Wait, like Doug the dog's collar.
Exactly. So in the movie Ratatouille, we see that Remy's running through this apartment building, and then we see the dog Doug from Up. The theory is that it's Charles Muntz's apartment because Doug actually belonged to Charles Muntz. And this makes sense how Skinner and Charles Muntz met since they live really close to each other.
Dude, I like this theory.
Have you heard of the Incredibles theory?
Which one?
What if I told you Mr. and Mrs. Incredible have more powers than you think, and they don't even know it?
What do you mean?
So we all know how the Incredibles is like a family full of superheroes, but don't you think their kids' names are kind of strange?
Yeah, they're kind of weird.
So this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that Mr. and Mrs. Incredible can see the future.
What? How?
You know how most parents name their kids before they're born, or like right after they're born?
Yeah.
How did Mr. and Mrs. Incredible know to name their kid Dash if one, they didn't know he was going to have powers? If they did, how do they know he was going to have super speed? They literally named him Dash, and he ends up having super speed.
Wait.
And how do they know to name the daughter Violet when they didn't know her powers either? And it turns out whenever Violet uses her superpower, she creates this violet-colored force field around her.
Wait, yeah, I didn't even think of that.
And then they named their kid Jack Jack because there's a saying called Jack of all trades, which means like someone that's really good at a bunch of different things. And it turns out that Jack Jack has a bunch of different powers in one.
Wait, what the heck? That makes so much sense.
Yeah, so the theory is that Mr. and Mrs. Incredible have this power called precognition where they can see the future, but they don't know they're seeing the future. They just think it's like a thought in their head.
Man, this is one crazy family, man.
There's one incredible family. Have you heard of the pretty woman effect?
No, what is that?
Have you ever gone into a store and the workers were super rude to you?
Dude, all the time.
What if I told you they do it on purpose?
What?
So there's a theory that stores like Gucci and high-end stores are purposely rude to their customers to increase sales.
Wait, how does that even work?
So there was a study done at the University of British Columbia School of Business that rude workers actually sold more products than nice workers.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so what these rude workers do is they make the customers feel like they're irrelevant and they're not worthy of their time.
Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So this makes the customers want to prove to the workers that they can't afford it, so they end up spending more money just to prove to the workers that they can.
Okay, I can see how this could work now.
And that's why it's called the Pretty Woman effect, because there's a movie called Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts where she goes into this high-end store and the workers are really rude to her because they feel like she can't afford it. So she comes back and buys the entire store just to prove to the workers that she can.
Wait, when you think about it, it's so wrong, but it's so genius.
It's literally reverse psychology.
Exactly. Did you know Disneyland actually brainwashes you every time you visit?
What?
So everyone loves Disneyland, right? It's the happiest place on earth. But have you ever walked by a building with a bunch of speakers on it, but no sound is coming out?
Yeah, what is that?
So that's what Disneyland calls smellitizers. And what they do is they shoot out a certain smell 20 feet and it helps make you feel a certain way.
What?
Right? So in Disneyland, if you walk down Main Street, there's a candy shop that shoots out the smell of peppermint to help remind you of candy. And there's an ice cream shop that shoots out the smell of vanilla and waffle cones.
I love the smell of their waffle cones.
Right? And if you walk by the popcorn stands, they shoot out the smell of popcorn to make you hungry and want to buy it.
And that's how they get me to spend all my money.
Exactly. And Disneyland also uses smellitizers in their rides. So if you go on Pirates of the Caribbean, they shoot out the smell of salt water to help the ride feel more realistic.
So that's how they do that.
They even do this in the Pixar Pier Hotel. So they actually shoot out the smell of sunscreen to remind everybody to wear sunscreen so they don't get sunburned and ruin the memory of their visit.
Gosh, Disney thinks of everything.
Right?
Have you heard of the Tangled theory?
No.
What if I told you there's a theory that would totally change the whole movie?
Wait, what?
So you know how the evil mom stole Rapunzel from the castle because she wants her hair because it keeps her young?
Yeah.
So this is where the theory comes in. If the evil mom never told Rapunzel when her birthday is, Rapunzel would have never ran away from her.
Wait, why?
So you know every year on her birthday how her dad will send those lamps into the sky, hoping that one day Rapunzel will come back?
Yeah, I remember that.
And every year on Rapunzel's birthday, she's like looking at the lamps. It's like, oh my gosh, those are meant for me because it's my birthday.
Yeah.
But if the evil mom would have just told her birthday was a different day, she would have never thought those lamps were for her, and she would have never went out to go try to see if those were for her.
Wait, what the heck?
All the evil mom had to do was never tell her birthday, and she would still be with the evil mom, and the evil mom would still be stealing her hair.
Oh my gosh, that makes a lot of sense.
These Disney villains are pretty dumb, huh?
They need some help, man. You know that the original Cinderella story wasn't made for kids at all?
Wait, what?
So we know that Cinderella had two evil stepsisters, right? That were so desperate to fit in the glass slipper to marry the prince, right?
Right.
But in the original story written in 1812, the evil stepmom was even more desperate for their daughters to marry the prince. So you know what she did?
What'd she do?
She willingly cut off the toes and the heels of her daughters so they could fit in the slipper.
What?
Ryan, she literally cut off their toes, cut off their heels so they would fit in a shoe.
Talk about tough love, huh?
Right? But thank goodness the prince didn't buy it.
Gee, I wonder what gave it away. Maybe when there was no toes on their feet?
Right? So you know how in Disney Cinderella, she always has magical birds that sing and like help her?
Yeah.
Well, in the original story, those birds were so mad at the evil stepsisters that at Cinderella's wedding, they went to them, pecked out their eyes, and ate them.
This whole time I thought Cinderella had it bad.
Right? Karma really got the stepsisters.
Well, you know one thing is that they don't have eyes and they don't have toes. Have you heard of the Loki theory?
No.
So we all know Loki's 2 episodes in so far, and he's stuck in the TVA. And the TVA stands for Time Variance Authority.
Right.
So this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that Loki in the TVA is actually stuck in the quantum realm.
Wait, how?
Remember in Ant-Man and the Wasp when they're in the quantum realm? You see like a city in the distance?
Oh, I remember that.
That's the TVA.
What?
Remember the Wasp mom was stuck in the quantum realm? And she said that time moves differently in the quantum realm.
Uh-huh.
And then Ant-Man got stuck in the quantum realm, and he thought he was there for 5 minutes, but he was there for 5 years. And he said that time moves differently in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
So then Loki asked Mobius, how long have you been here for? And Mobius tells him, I don't know. Time moves differently in the TVA.
Wait.
So Mobius and Loki time travel using the TVA through the quantum realm. And guess who else used the quantum realm to time travel? The Avengers.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And get this, the new Ant-Man and the Wasp movie is called Quantumania, and it takes place in the quantum realm. And the main villain is Kang the Conqueror, and Kang the Conqueror is one of the timekeepers in the show Loki.
Wait, what the heck?
Confirming that they may actually be in the quantum realm.
Wait, this is crazy how much sense it's making.
Right?
What if I told you the Titanic never sank?
What?
So the owner of the boat, JP Morgan, actually had 2 boats. He had the Titanic and he had the Olympic. And the Olympic was a little bit older and a little bit more run down, and it was also in some accidents.
Okay.
So the theory is that JP Morgan sank the boat on purpose because he knew he would get a lot of money.
What?
He did it for the insurance money, right? But why sink the newly built Titanic when you could scratch off the paint, swap the names, and sink the Olympic instead?
He just painted the word Titanic over the Olympic?
It gets worse. Guess who was on that boat?
Who? I know there's a lot of people on the boat.
All of JP Morgan's business competitors.
What?
And not one of them made it out.
Oh my god.
But guess who wasn't on the boat?
Who?
JP Morgan.
Was he supposed to be?
He canceled minutes before it left.
Because he knew it was going to sink.
And there was a guy named James Fenton, right, who survived and worked on the boat. And on his deathbed, his last words were, "The Titanic never sank. It was the Olympic."
Wait, what?
And he said that if he said anything, something bad would happen to him.
So what you're trying to say is the movie Titanic's actually called the Olympic.
Exactly.
Have you ever heard of the biggest scam in America?
No.
Have you ever gone to a store and tried on clothes in a dressing room and it looked really good so you bought it?
Yeah.
But then when you come home, it looks totally different. It doesn't fit right?
Ooh, that's actually happened to me a lot.
So a few years ago on the show Shark Tank, there was a company called Skinny Mirror. And it's a mirror that makes your reflection look 5 to 10 pounds skinnier.
Wait, what?
And there's a theory that retail stores use this in their dressing rooms to increase sales.
Are you serious?
So on their website, it shows you what you look like in a normal mirror compared to what you look like in the skinny mirror. And you could tell you look a lot skinnier in the skinny mirror.
Oh my gosh.
On their website, retail stores can go in and buy it, and this is what it says. The skinny mirror is an ideal solution for dressing rooms. The subtle yet believable slimming reflection will improve the attitude of their customers' self-image and body. And at the end, it says increasing overall sales.
Okay, that's actually really upsetting.
Right? So I read this article how skinny mirrors make their money, and majority of their money comes from selling it to clothing stores and hotels.
Are you kidding me?
In Shane Dawson's video, he went to go try this out. So what he did was he took a picture in a dressing room, and then he took a picture at his house in the same position and same outfit. You could tell that he was way slimmer at the retail store compared to his home.
Dude, I'm gonna have like mirror trust issues.
Right?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why Starbucks is the dumbest, smartest company in the world.
Why?
Okay, so everybody knows Starbucks and everybody loves it, right? But have you ever gone in and they spell your name completely wrong?
Yeah, one time I went in and they spelled my name B-I-A-N instead of R-Y-A-N.
Right? Sometimes it's super ridiculous, but the theory is they do it on purpose.
Wait, why?
So multiple Starbucks managers have actually come forward and said that they do it for marketing.
To show how they don't know how to spell?
No, okay, so listen, where else do you see this happen to other people?
Where?
Social media. People post their misspelled names all the time on their stories, right?
Yeah, I guess we've all done it once.
Right? And when you think about it, that turns into free promotion for Starbucks.
I never even thought of that.
Right? And when people see that, they go, oh, I want to see how my name gets spelled.
Yeah, it also makes me want to go and get a drink.
Exactly. And throughout the year, we don't see many Starbucks commercials or promotions, right?
I've never seen a Starbucks ad in my life.
You know why? They don't need it. We do it for them.
Oh my gosh, they out here hacking the system, huh?
Exactly.
Have you heard of the Frozen theory?
Which one?
This is a good one. So I read this article, and remember at the beginning of the film, we see Elsa and Anna's parents going on a boat for a voyage?
Right.
But what people don't know is that Elsa and Anna's mom's actually pregnant, and at some point at sea, she has a baby boy.
What?
Remember how we see Elsa and Anna's parents' boat like in a huge sea storm, and it causes their boat to sink?
Yeah.
So this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that the baby boy they have at sea is actually Tarzan.
Wait, what?
And that they used the rescue rowboat to get to a nearby jungle.
Wait, I thought they died though.
That's what people think, but when you look at a map, Scandinavia, where Elsa and Anna's from, is right above Africa. So probably after the storm, the closest place to go was the African jungle.
What?
And what makes this theory even crazier is that the director of the film, Jennifer Lee, confirmed that Tarzan is Elsa and Anna's long-lost brother.
No.
So it's not a theory, it's actually a fact.
Wait, that actually makes both movies a lot better though.
It really does.
Have you ever heard of the Lilo and Stitch theory?
No.
So we know that Lilo and Nani's parents passed away from a car accident, right?
Right.
So you ever wonder why Mr. Bubbles, the social worker, is always checking on Lilo and Nani?
Why?
Okay, so I read this article, and the theory is that Lilo and Nani's parents were actually CIA agents that worked with Mr. Bubbles. And before they died, they instructed him that if anything happens to them, he has to take care of Lilo and Nani.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And at the end of the movie, Mr. Bubbles even tells Nani that he was a CIA agent that used to work with aliens.
Right, I remember that.
Right? Which is why the Grand Councilwoman recognized him. And don't you think it's kind of weird? He went from CIA agent to someone who takes care of kids that have no parents.
Especially how he became a social worker right after Lilo and Nani's parents passed away.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Have you ever heard of the Fairly Odd Parents theory?
No.
So we all know the show's about Timmy Turner's fairy godparents and how his parents don't care about him and his babysitter's always messing with him.
Right.
I saw a video by Watch Mojo, and this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that Cosmo and Wanda aren't actually there.
What?
And actually, Timmy's going through depression and needs medication, so Cosmo and Wanda are actually his antidepressant medication.
Oh my gosh.
So Cosmo represents a medication called Prozac, and Wanda represents a medication called Zoloft.
Wait, isn't Prozac a green pill?
Yeah, it's an antidepressant. You know what else is super crazy? The only time you see Cosmo and Wanda in this show is when Timmy's in trouble and needs help.
Yeah.
Because that's when Timmy's having anxiety and needs his antidepressants.
Wait, that makes so much sense.
And just like medication, when you use over the suggested amount, things go wrong for your body and it could be really bad.
Right.
And that's why whenever Cosmo and Wanda use too much of their powers to help Timmy, things go wrong and the show gets out of control.
Wait, now that I think about it, Cosmo and Wanda are always like, are you sure you want to do this to me? It might be dangerous.
They're trying to warn him not to use too much of our powers because it could go wrong for you. But they have to do it anyways because he's taking it.
Oh my gosh, how did I never see that?
I know, it's crazy.
You know why no one likes the Chum Bucket and Spongebob?
Why?
So I read this fandom post by SpongeBob Lover 04, right?
With that name, it better be a good theory.
Yeah, so the theory is that the Chum Bucket runs on cannibalism.
What?
Like, do you know what chum is?
It's like the bait they use to catch like sharks and stuff.
Right, do you know how it's made?
No.
It's ground up fish.
What?
So the theory is that Plankton secretly kills fish and grinds them up and puts it in his burger.
Oh my god.
Right, that's why no one likes it, because they're eating themselves.
Yeah, no one's ever in his restaurant. It's always just him and his robot.
Dude, it's cannibalism.
It's worse than McDonald's.
Oh my.
I have a crazy story that's going to blow your mind.
Oh boy, let's hear it.
In 2015 in Danbury, Connecticut, there was a teenage girl named Rebecca Townsend. And Rebecca's goal in life was to complete her bucket list.
Wow.
She actually wrote herself a letter of all the things she wanted to do before she died. On that list, there was like, take a trip to Spain, have a kiss in the rain like in the movies. The last thing on her list was to save a life before she died. And that was the only thing she hasn't done yet.
That's crazy.
So one day, her and her friend were walking on the street. And as she was crossing the street, unfortunately, she got hit by a car and died.
No.
She managed to complete her bucket list.
Are you serious?
Seconds before getting hit by a car, she managed to push her friend out of the way and in turn saving his life.
Oh, that gave me goosebumps.
I know, it's crazy.
You know the show Blue's Clues isn't a kid's show at all?
What do you mean?
So you know the main character Steve?
Yeah.
So there's a theory that he takes drugs to make himself hallucinate.
What?
Yeah, think about it. So throughout the show, we see him have conversations with things that aren't real at all. Like Salt and Pepper, he talks to a mailbox, and then he's always jumping through paintings.
What? You can't jump through paintings either?
Stop. But when he leaves the show, they say he's going to college, right? But the theory is that he's actually going to rehab. Because you're going to tell me a 32-year-old man is graduating high school right now?
Wait, what? He was 32?
He was 32.
Oh my gosh. So there's another crazy Incredibles movie theory.
Oh, let's hear it.
You know Violet from The Incredibles?
Yeah.
She's not Mr. Incredible's daughter.
Okay, what?
Mr. Incredible has blonde hair, Mrs. Incredible has ginger hair, Dash has blonde hair, and Jack has blonde hair. Violet has jet black hair.
Wait.
It's super, super rare for a dad to have blonde hair and the mom to have ginger hair and their daughter to have jet black hair.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so listen to this. Throughout their entire house, right? There's photos of the family. And there's no photos of anybody outside their family except one photo. Mrs. Incredible has a photo on her dresser with this guy. And this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that Mrs. Incredible had an affair early on in her relationship with Mr. Incredible with her pilot Snug.
No.
Remember in the first movie when Mr. Incredible needs help? Who does she call? She calls Snug because she trusts him.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
And to make things even worse, guess what color hair Snug has?
What?
Jet black hair.
Oh my. If I told you everything in the show Stranger Things was real.
What do you mean?
So we know it takes place in the 1980s, in the middle of the Cold War.
Right.
So it's based on a military base called Camp Hero in Montauk, New York, where they would conduct human experiments to help fight in the Cold War.
They're trying to like create the Avengers?
Yeah. So what they would do is they would kidnap children and test them for mind control, telekinesis, and telepathy. And who do we know in the show that has that power? 11.
Oh my god. So 11 was real.
Maybe. And the creators of the show, the Duffer Brothers, actually wanted to call the show the Montauk Project, but Netflix didn't let them.
I wonder if Netflix was like, no, that's too real.
Yeah. But to confirm this, in 1995, President Clinton had to publicly apologize for the events that happened at Camp Hero.
Dang, that's scary.
Who else knows what's out there, man?
Have you ever heard of the Frozen theory?
No, what is that?
So we all know the movie Frozen is about Elsa and Anna, and it's like a really happy movie. But this theory is really dark.
Oh boy.
You know how Kristoff and Sven are like best friends? They grew up together?
Yeah.
So this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that Kristoff's guardians, the ice harvesters, actually killed Sven's mom.
What?
You see throughout the movie that Kristoff's wearing this jacket, and it's actually made out of reindeer fur. And that fur is Sven's mom.
No.
The theory is that the ice harvesters killed Sven's mom for her fur for Kristoff's jacket, but felt bad for Sven, so kept him as a pet for Kristoff.
Oh my gosh.
What makes this even more sad is that Sven could smell his mom on Kristoff's jacket, and that's why he trusts Kristoff and feels like there's attachment to him.
Dude, this is so sad.
I know, it's really sad.
Did you know the movie Cars might have predicted the future?
What do you mean?
So you know how we see no humans in the movie?
Yeah.
So the theory is that all the cars wiped out the human population and they take the personality of the person that once owned them.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And look at Tesla, right? The new Model S that hasn't come out yet is going to have no gear shifter and no turn signals. It's going to have nothing. It's just going to know where to go based on what's around it.
I know, I heard about that. It's going to know when you want to go forward or you want to go backwards.
Dude, it's going to read your mind.
That's nuts. And there's Neuralink now.
I was just about to get into that. So Neuralink, right, successfully made a monkey understand and play a video game. And Elon Musk even said that one day Neuralink will be able to link to your Tesla.
Could you imagine that there's like a cord that goes from your brain into your car and you plug it right in?
And that's how they'll get the personality.
That's so scary.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, if you want to buy a Tesla, you better be extra nice to your car because it might turn on you.
That thing might kill you, man.
It seriously might. Have you ever heard of the Phineas and Ferb theory?
No, what is that?
This is going to ruin your day again.
Again?
We all know Phineas and Ferb is about two brothers that go on these crazy adventures, and their sister Candace always tries to get them in trouble.
Right.
But this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that Phineas is actually dead and isn't really there.
Okay, no way.
It's actually Candace's imagination because she misses her brother Phineas and wishes he was there for Ferb.
What?
You know like how the show says there's 104 days of summer?
Yeah.
There's actually 189 episodes, so how does that make sense?
Wait, what the heck?
The show was on for 4 seasons. The kids stay the same age. They never age. You know why?
Why?
Because Candace only remembers Phineas at that age because that's the age she died. She never saw him get older, so she doesn't know what he looks like.
No.
Whenever Phineas and Ferb are doing something crazy, Candace is always like, Mom, look at what they're doing. And the mom doesn't see anything. She's like, what are you talking about? She feels bad for Candace because she knows she's just imagining her brother because she misses him.
What? Why does this make so much sense?
I know, it's so sad.
So have you ever heard of the Toy Story theory?
I've heard different ones.
Okay, so this is a sad one.
Oh gosh.
So you know how we never see a father figure for Andy in the movies?
Yeah.
So the theory is that in the first movie, Andy's parents are actually going through a divorce. And before the dad left, he wanted to leave Andy something, so he left him Woody.
He's like, sorry, I don't love your mom anymore, but here's Woody.
Yeah, so this is where it gets crazy. Andy's mom has a new boyfriend, and he knows how much Andy loves Woody, but he wants Andy to love him too. So what does he do? He goes out and he finds the next best toy, Buzz Lightyear, and he gets him it for his birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And throughout the movie, we constantly see Woody and Buzz competing to be Andy's favorite toy. And Woody's always scared that he's going to be replaced by Buzz.
Yeah, you could tell like Woody's jealous of Buzz.
Right, so the theory is too that the writers intended for Woody to represent Andy's real dad and for Buzz to represent the mom's new boyfriend. And they're constantly competing to be Andy's favorite parent.
Dang, that's deep.
But after all the hard things they go through together, Woody and Buzz finally realize it's about just being there for Andy and doing what's best for him.
Wow, that actually makes the movie better.
Right? And now we get to see them live as a happy family.
Until they get sent off to Bonnie's house. Have you ever heard of the Finding Nemo theory?
No.
This is going to ruin your day.
Oh, here we go.
So we all know the movie Finding Nemo is about a father fish named Marlin and his son Nemo. And it's Marlin's journey in finding Nemo after he was taken by scuba divers.
Right.
This is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that Nemo's not real and never existed.
How does that work?
It's actually Marlin's imagination because he's grieving over the death of his wife and all his kids.
What?
And to make everything worse, the word Nemo in Latin means no one. So Disney's literally telling the audience we have a movie called Finding Nemo, but actually means finding no one because Nemo's not real.
No.
And that's why Dory is such a good friend of Marlin, because she has short-term memory loss and can't remember that Nemo's not real.
That makes so much sense now. That didn't even ruin my day. That ruined my whole childhood.
I'm sorry.
You know that the drink Coca-Cola was actually made to save people's lives?
Oh, stop it. Every time I go to the dentist's office, they're always telling me, don't drink soda and don't drink dark soda.
No, so in 1865, Dr. John Pemberton, the creator of Coca-Cola, fought in the Civil War and mid-fight got severely injured and was given morphine to stop the pain.
The Pepsi family out there with their gun trying to take down the creator of Coke.
Yeah, so luckily he survived the war, but unfortunately became very addicted to the medication morphine. And when used the wrong way, morphine can be really dangerous.
Yeah, morphine's known to like shut down your organ.
Right, and after trying many different formulas and concoctions to stop his addiction, he finally created Pemberton's French wine Coca.
Yeah, you're trying to be like Bill Nye.
So it not only helped him with his addiction, it helped many people around the US with depression, anxiety, and headache.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
But in 1885, alcohol was banned and he had to change his whole formula. And that formula is what is known as today as Coca-Cola.
So what you're trying to say is that Coke no longer saves lives.
Nope.
I knew it. Have you ever heard of the Hannah Montana theory?
Bro, I love Hannah Montana.
So as you know, Hannah Montana was a show about Miley Stewart who lived a regular life by day, but at night she was a pop star named Hannah Montana.
Right.
What's cool is like how no one knew she was Hannah Montana. It was like a secret identity.
Yeah.
So this is where the theory comes in. And basically the theory is that the entire show of Hannah Montana, all the friends she made, everything she went through, all the songs she wrote, never actually happened. It was all fake.
What?
So Disney actually released an alternate ending to the show where you see a young Miley playing with a doll and her dad walks into her room. But he calls her Miley Cyrus.
No.
Doesn't call her by her show name Miley Stewart.
What?
Revealing that Miley Stewart, Hannah Montana weren't actually real. Actually, it was Miley Cyrus's imagination of her dream of one day becoming a pop star.
And she made it.
She made it.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Have you ever heard of the Incredibles theory?
No, what is that?
Edna Mode's the best superhero in the Incredibles.
What?
You know like how she's known for making superhero suits?
Yeah.
So in her early years, she actually made a suit for a hero named Stratigale. Stratigale was a teenager who had super strength and could fly. But unfortunately, she died because her cape got stuck into an airplane engine.
Oh, I remember that from the movie.
So ever since then, Edna Mode swore to never put capes on suits.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So this is where the theory comes in.
Uh-huh.
Years later, there's this guy that comes up to Edna Mode and says, hey, can you make me a suit? I'm a big fan of Mr. Incredible. Can you help me out? Edna Mode's like, sure. But there's something about this guy that's like really sketchy and makes Edna Mode feel like, oh, there's some evil in this guy.
Oh.
So she builds him the suit, but she purposely puts a cape on the suit knowing that it will hurt him one day.
What?
That guy becomes Syndrome.
No way.
And we all know how Syndrome dies. His cape gets stuck onto the airplane engine just like Stratigale.
Are you... Dude, that makes so much sense.
And that's why Edna Mode's the ultimate hero of the story.
Dude, we gotta give Edna more credit, man.
Right?
Have you ever heard that crazy Spongebob theory about the Krabby Patty secret formula?
Oh, like how Mr. Krabs killed all the other crabs and uses their meat for the burgers?
No, the true secret formula is whale meat.
What?
Think about it. Mr. Krabs' daughter is Pearl the whale.
Okay.
SpongeBob's parents are both sponges. Patrick's parents are both sea stars. Why does Mr. Krabs have a whale daughter?
Oh my gosh, I guess I never even questioned that.
Right? Mr. Krabs killed Pearl's parents and is now using the meat in Krabby Patties.
Oh my gosh,
Right?
what?
Whales are huge. There's a lot of meat on them, man.
I guess, yeah, it would last a while.
Yeah, and Pearl is now being raised by Mr. Krabs to be killed one day too.
He out here being the real villain, huh?
Mr. Krabs is ruthless, man. He's just trying to get some bread.
He trying to open up those franchises.
Exactly. New In-N-Out.
Yeah.
There's a theory that all birds are fake.
What?
No, hear me out. 1972, ex-CIA agent Eugene Price was assigned to Operation Water the Country.
Okay, what's Operation Water the Country?
His job was to remove all birds and replace them with surveillance drones.
What?
No, hear me out. 1972, we're in the middle of the Cold War.
Okay.
The U.S. needs some sort of surveillance to make sure there's no Russian spies in the country.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't expect a bird to be like a spy or drone. Like, I wouldn't
Exactly,
think about it.
right? You ever wonder why they sit on the wire now?
Why?
They're charging.
Oh my gosh.
No, have you ever seen a dead bird on the ground?
I've never seen a dead bird on the ground. Oh my gosh. I've never seen a dead bird on the ground.
They don't die. They
Oh my
charge.
gosh.
They charge.
Have you heard of the Chuck E. Cheese pizza theory and why you shouldn't eat their pizza?
No, what is that?
Okay, so basically there's a theory that employees will go clean the tables, right? And when families are done eating, they'll take the pizza that's left, take it to the back, create a new pizza, and then serve it to someone else.
Are you serious?
Have you noticed that like Domino's, Pizza Hut, their pizzas are always very round,
Yeah.
right? But Chuck E. Cheese, it's not an equally round pizza.
Oh my. I remember that when we were kids, when
Yeah.
we go, it would never be equal. It would always be really messed up.
Right. And you know when you cut a pizza, usually they go top to bottom, right? But Chuck E. Cheese, you'll see that the slices,
The cuts don't match.
right, so they're a bunch of random pieces put together.
That's crazy. Did you know that Dasani water is actually really, really bad for you?
What do you mean? I drink a lot of Dasani water.
I know. So there's 3 ingredients that make it the absolute worst water bottle ever.
What are the 3 ingredients?
Okay, so 1, there's salt.
Oh my gosh, there is salt in here.
It makes you more thirsty.
Oh my gosh, that makes a lot of sense.
And the second one is actually called magnesium sulfate. So have you ever noticed when you're drinking Dasani, like your mouth gets drier and drier every time?
Yeah, actually kind of, yeah.
So magnesium sulfate is actually a drying agent. So it makes your mouth dry on purpose.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And then the last one, potassium chloride. This is where they get you bad. Have you heard of death row?
Yeah, I know what death row is.
Yeah. So on death row, they inject you with 3 different injections. And the last one they inject in you is potassium chloride.
Stop it.
Potassium chloride actually causes cardiac arrest. And it makes the heart stop working.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and we're drinking it in Dasani water.
Oh my gosh, they are trying to kill us.
On the bottle, it says they add it for taste.
And everybody wondering what the taste of death is, you now know what it
Yeah.
is. Have you heard of the Captain America theory?
No.
So remember at the end of Avengers Endgame, we see that Captain America takes back the Infinity Stones and puts them back in the past?
Dude, Endgame was so good.
But remember when Black Widow and Hawkeye go to Vormir? Red Skull says, a soul for a soul. So Black Widow sacrifices herself for the Soul Stone.
Yeah, that was a sad scene.
Okay, so this is where the theory comes in, and it's a big spoiler for people who haven't seen Black Widow yet.
Oh boy.
So the director of the Black Widow movie, Kate Shortland, shot an alternate ending to the movie.
Wait, what do you mean?
Remember when Yelena whistles by Natasha's grave and no one whistles back?
Oh, like that thing they did when they were kids.
Yeah, so in the alternate ending, when Yelena whistles, someone whistles back to her the same way that Black Widow did when she was younger.
Wait, so you're telling me she's still alive?
Well, what if Captain America, when he took back the Soul Stone to Red Skull, he told him a soul for a soul. So he gave back the Soul Stone, and in turn, he gets to bring back Black Widow. And it makes sense since they shot this alternate ending where it implies that Black Widow is still alive.
Dude, that just gave me goosebumps.